Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this session of How to Make Money Trading Stocks. This is a weekly webinar we do on every Friday, about 2 hours before the market closes. I want to give you a perspective of what's going on in the market, what we're seeing, what we're not seeing. Steve Farrar, Dr. Steve, he's there to give us a potential trade for next week. And he's been doing a darn good job of picking some of the trades that we've been, actually working on. I like the Tesco trade from last week. So we actually, Tesco rated high enough on our Power Elite watch list that it actually made the top 5. So that was kind of really good. I want to thank everybody for your thoughts, your prayers, and everything from my back. Yeah, it's not there all the way. Is it feeling better? Yes. At the same time, though, we still don't have a stinking clue about what's going on, what caused it to tweak out this time. And so, hey, what can I say? And let's get ready to rumble. So remember that all the materials we trade are for trading purposes only. Traders should always paper trade should paper trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. Here's what we're looking at for today. Okay, one is the active trend trading system is beating the S&P by 36%. As you can see, we've got a really nice trajectory going on our P&L. This is a percentage of where we're sitting from where we started the year. And then here's where we go to the individual line item by line item comparison. The Dow's down still about 8%. S&P finally made it into the green for this year, has not taken out last year's high yet. NASDAQ is the one that, it's the stellar performer. Who would have guessed at the beginning of the year? Well, who would have guessed at the beginning of the year all the crap that's gone on this year would come out to us being basically under house arrest at our homes and not being able to get out there and enjoy the area, the economy locked down and all that kind of stuff. Who would ever guess that? But so far, the economy or the market has responded fairly well. Of course, you've got the big move to the upside after it did its major correction, and so that's what we're looking at. So let's get in here and look at some stock. Look at the indexes. Today's market indices, if you will, are basically kind of a mixed bag. At least they were earlier today. Steve was chatting straight up when we first getting started about how he, based on what happened last night with earnings, and I'm glad he brought it up, but we had earnings yesterday on Google, Apple, Amazon, and Facebook. And I anticipated, as Steve did, that we would get a pop to the upside. And while we did, but what really happened is, we kind of got a pop, but we didn't. One of the things that is crucial to remember to look at is we did not pop through any level of resistance. See, on the S&P, you still got this daily resistance up here. Didn't even come close to it. So we've got this highlighted resistance at about 323, and prices bumped above it, but now we're kind of selling off into it. So what's happening with the index? So the spider, you can look at the moving averages. Does it seem like they have slowed down? And compare this uptrend over here to this uptrend over here. And yes, clearly it appears as if the momentum to the upside has slowed somewhat. We did get a negative divergence going on here and a negative divergence going on here when we met this last high. And the market has been kind of going sideways on the S&P. That's all it's doing. We do have and I'll point this out over here on the weekly chart. Look what we got going on over here. Last week we had a shooting star or a inverted hammer doji, which is indicative of a bearish reversal signal, so that when we get a bearish reversal signal like this and all the moving averages are stacked underneath for support, typically you expect to pull back into one of those support levels, either here at the 8, here at the 20, or here at the 40 period moving averages, which equates to approximately the 200-day daily.
Dennis, can I interject? The other thing that's happening on the weekly chart, I believe, is something IBD tends to point out as an important signal, and we've got 3 weeks where we've closed pretty tight, and they call it a 3 weeks tight pattern. And there's usually a bullish formation.
And so, yeah, and I basically agree with that sentiment, Steve, because even though we have a bearish bearish inverted hammer or shooting star type, right, type of pattern right here from last week, its price action this week have kind of held up okay. I mean, it's basically, it is clearly working within a restricted range. So that's what we're looking on the spiders for. What about our buddy? I still think I like IW. Let's back that out a little bit. Let's go over here to the Qs. Get rid of my drawings again. So what's happening with the Qs? The Qs are on a weekly chart, pushing up to almost form a. I don't want to call this a triple top per se, simply because in reality it doesn't meet the qualifications under complete technical analysis. In other words, the drops down to the bottom of the W there are not deep enough. However, you can get a clearly a triple test of resistance or up at these highs, which it looks like we're trying to push up and do. But you got to look. The Qs, this is the NASDAQ, everything is in gear to the upside. The 8, the 20, the 34, the 30, the 50 day moving averages. You've got the TSI now ticking up to the upside. And so as long as this uptrend right there that I'm pointing at right there stays intact, you want to be light on, if you decide to take a downside trade, be cautious with it, because you really don't have a downside trigger. And let's see what else we got over here on a weekly chart. Similar on a weekly chart. No real bearish reversal signal at all on the weeklies. And so that's, we'll just look at that as being good. As you do your review over the weekend, take a look at the values of your moving averages and also the moving averages of this uptrending line, so that the Qs at about $258.99, let's just round it up to $259. If price action can get to that level, it might pay you to look at doing some option trading in the Qs or go to TQQ. And let's see, and last but not least, Russell was really getting treated like the redheaded stepchild this morning. And it still is a little bit, as you can see. We've got a gap up, and now it's coming from a couple of weeks ago. It's come down and retested that gap up breakout. And however, is it going to make it back above the 8? We'll see. If it does that, again, this may be one of those that Steve was talking about, a 3-week tight. We're sitting at a 2-week tight, at least for IWM. Since I believe IWM, the Russell, has the majority of the pent up energy for this, for the next move. I would anticipate it, if it goes and breaks out of these levels, it will basically get a better run into the end of the year. Again, that is just an opinion. With the president of my opinion being that that's what tends to happen with the Russell when it gets favorable conditions. They're going to be with the Feds holding rates, and so that usually benefits the the small caps. And so that's all I've got right now, Steve. I mean, we're testing, as I said, it's kind of a mixed bag, and it's a tale of 3 different markets.
I agree completely.
So,
and I really don't have any picks for today, although there are a couple of things I'm watching. I would keep an eye on TTD, Zoom, and NVAX, and audio codes for possible trades next week. Audio
okay.
code AUDC, Dennis, if we take a quick look at it, is pretty interesting. It's pulled back to the 50, and it could be a real nice location for a trade. But it's something to watch. It's not something I'm ready to jump on right now.
Sure.
But the trade that looks most exciting, and I took an initial position today, is MOO. It's not it's MOO. It's an ETF for the meat sector in the commodities area, and the reason for that is there's a very nice seasonal pattern for live cattle to be shorted in the first week of August and to be closed at the end of August. So it's about a trade that's a little less than a month long. And the seasonals right now are 85% over the last 15 and 30 years. Probability of success, a short the first week of August and a cover the last week of August.
Okay.
85% win rate. I don't know how long the downside move would be, but it had nice price action to the downside today. So I decided to initiate a position with buying some long puts.
Okay. And did you go, what, did you just go, how far out did you do your puts?
I'm doing the September contracts for 63. Maybe I did the August. No, I did the August. And that's a mistake. I would look at September. And I don't know right now if 63s occur in September. They do in August, but that was a mistake. I should I'll keep the position, but I did about a third of my position. So next week I expect to fill it out, and I'll do it with September options just to give myself the most time to capture the entire month.
Okay. Well, here's the 63s.
Puts. I got in at 115.
Okay. So, and is this a throwaway? Well, when I say a throwaway trade, basically where you're just going to place the trade and whatever happens, happens.
Pretty much. I'll have a stop under above the recent highs.
Okay.
But it's mostly, I expect to take maybe about 2 weeks to play out. And once I see bottoming kind of action, if it moves down and shows me some bottoming action, then I'll look to cover the short.
Okay. Now my question is, Steve, why you chose the 63? Why not the 64? I mean, it's got a better delta.
At the time I put it on, it was at the money strike. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah. And then you also said, and we'll just take a real quick look at this real quick. Also take a look at September. Yeah, September also has
63s.
that
Yeah.
good number, and the September 64s and 63s is about 50%.
Yeah, going slightly in the money. It would be if you go to 64 or 65. It's probably the safer trade to take. But I'm more aggressive in my trading. I buy them a little bit at or a little bit out of the money.
Yeah.
It's just nothing specific there. It's just my tendency with option trades.
Yeah.
If I believe it's gonna strongly that it'll work out, I tend to go slightly out of the money.
And so this is the volatility on this. It's a low volatility.
It is low, and that's another good reason to be buying options.
Yeah. And here exactly, and here is the expected move between now and September 18th of $4.29. So that's a good thing. If you're looking at the August 21st, you're looking at about $2.59. Right. So good pick, Steve. I really like that. I will highlight and bring to everybody's attention another. If you have been trying to trade UNG, which is the natural gas ETF. It works fine to try to trade the ETF for this, but the leverage ETF, the UGAS and the DGAS, is no longer an entity.
Interesting. What happened there?
I don't know. They delisted it. They delisted it. And so a couple of questions, Steve, is when will you be ready for AUDC? And
Oh, let me look at that. Okay.
so, yeah, UGAS and DGAS are basically worthless now. I mean, they delisted them, so there's no need to even try to trade them. And so, yeah, to answer your question from my perspective on this particular one, on AUDC, it is pulled back about, it looks like it's a little bit over a 50% retracement. I'd throw the Fibonacci on that. And this is, we don't necessarily do this. You're getting a special today. So the fib is right there, up to right there. And as you can see, it is finding support at the 50. It coincides with approximately at 35.60, the 618. But at this point, we don't have a reversal signal. Downside, making new lows, lower highs. TSI going down, market forecast, main market forecast going down. However, it is getting into some congestion. I like it at the stronger support. This is just me, Steve. I like it at the stronger support about 33.98. Okay. So let's see. Jason, you said something about.
Yeah, and just a comment further on the ADC trade. I would wait till Monday and I would trade it above today's high.
Yeah.
And so if we trade lower, you can even get potentially a better price.
Exactly.
Trade lower and not take out today's high, then we're in a better situation.
Okay, NAS. What is NAS? What is NAS? Okay, Jason. Yeah, I'm not following what on NAS is. So anyway, hey guys, that's it for today. I want to thank Dr. Steve. We'll go ahead and finish off the slides. I want to remind you that, of course, our objective every week is to provide traders with top-notch market analysis. Every week, timely and actionable intel that clarifies, simplifies trading decisions so you can multiply profits and minimize risk. My market overview, it's a mixed market. Is it going to resolve to the upside or downside? We don't know yet. A lot of it's going to be news driven. A lot of it's going to be, pandemic driven. A lot of it's going to be, the news coming out of China and that kind of stuff. There's just so much crap out there that they're putting out as news that it's really a challenge to what's really real. So we did that. So opinions are true and truths don't always share the same roof. Trade the charts. That's where the truth lies. And so here's the trading question. If you can answer in the chat box, would you like to learn how to trade options? I've been really thinking about putting something together on this, trading options, but trading them specifically just on ETFs, index ETFs primarily, and a couple of sectors ETFs. And if that's something you'd be interested in, if you just give it, say yes, give us a thumbs up. If you're watching on YouTube, man, give us a note down in the dialogue box. So remember, if you are watching this on YouTube, you can subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of all new content. And we've got some new content planned for this weekend. Let me see, let me slide my, oops. Okay, hey, Barry. Okay. So yeah, one of the things that's really nice about learning how to trade options utilizing the index ETFs and some of the good sector ETFs is it doesn't carry some of the nasty baggage, option trading baggage that trading real, actual stocks do. And so that's, I always have said, if I would have been able to learn how to trade options just using the ETFs, and I think I would have learned a lot quicker. So hey, remember our Power Rank Elite Top 5 list? It's posted every week. Basically just click the engage button and put your trades on AutoPilot. If you're looking for more information about that, you can email me or just reach us at activetrendtrading.com/top5. So for no other, you can tell that I'm taking a pain medication and a muscle relaxer. So after I talk for a while, my tongue kind of gets wrapped around the axle a little bit. So aloha, trade well and prosper. Have a great weekend. Steve, thanks a lot for your input. Appreciate it, friend.
Hey, thank you.
And again, if you haven't subscribed to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, and the next video will show in a little thumbnail right there. So until next week, aloha, God bless everybody.
Be well, Dennis.
Thank you.
Take care.